Shalom, shalom. You tune into the form of all things. You understand the Salt of the Earth series with Priest and Captain Natazak Shah, I.S.U.P.K. You understand Virginia under Commanding General YAHANNA. And we turning into another, all of the inventions and things that so-called Black people, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans that we invented that completely shaped and revolutionized this entire world, that because the Christian church is invested into teaching us to love our oppressors and to assume the identity of other nations of people instead of turning back to obeying the Most High, which would require us to stop following them and keep God's law, statutes, and commandments and not celebrate Christmas and birthdays and go to church and go to the mosque, but to get in the UPK and be Israelites and obey the Lord again like it's commanded, like Christ and the disciples were teaching. So today, we're going to get into, you understand, the former of all things. We're here with another episode today. We're going to talk about a brother and inventor, one of the most important inventions to revolutionize the entire planet. The entire planet. Everywhere you see people, Africa, Asia, Europe, India, everywhere, the Polynesian Islands, the Eskimos, all over the entire world. This is completely revolutionized by the people that came out of slavery, that hundreds of years of not having an identity, not knowing where we come from, not having our natural language, our natural diet. We have been under another race of people for hundreds of years. Our people to this day in 2022 still do not know what race and what our identity is. Our nation has been in exile for hundreds of years. Our people still have no idea. We got new identities. We all speak in different languages of the people that conquered us. And still, we make the inventions that completely change the entire world. Let's jump right into it. We're talking about none other than this brother right here, John Standard, a Judite, a Black man, a so-called Afro-American, John Standard. This brother right here invented possibly one of the most important inventions of the last few centuries. John Standard invented the refrigerator. You understand? The refrigerator. You can't have a house sold today without a refrigerator in America. The refrigerator. Everything in here, your milks, your meats, your dairies, your juices, your drinks, your medicines, the refrigerator. This brother invented the refrigerator. Why don't they tell you in church that a Black man invented the refrigerator? Because they don't want to tell you that the Bible is about being Black. That's why we have a series, The Bible is Black. They don't want to tell you that the Bible is about race, that God made one race of people above all of the other races of people that he made. God made different races of people in the book of Genesis. He separated all people from the days of Adam. The earth repopulated after the flood. He changed everybody's language at the Tower of Babel and forced everyone to go their own separate places to establish themselves with their own cultures. He only dealt with one people. That's who the Bible is about. These 12 tribes right here, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Negroes, not Africans, not Asians, not Arabs. You understand? These 12 tribes right here are the children of God. The Bible says the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Jacob was our forefather. He had 12 sons. His name was changed to Israel. He wrestled with an angel. Angel had to dislocate his hip. The angel blessed him and said he changed his name from Jacob, which is YAHWH, unto Yasharallah, or a prince with power, a prince of the power. That is what Israel means. That is who Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are. Prince of the power, princesses if you are a woman, because only a woman can be a princess, not queens, but you are a princess of the power. If your father is one of these 12 tribes, not your mother is irrelevant. This man carries the seed. The Bible is very patriarchal. You understand? Very male dominated because God is a man, not a divine mother. You understand? Making everybody get along. That's not what God is. The Lord is a man of war. And after hundreds of years of slavery in the 1800s, this Black man invented the refrigerator. You understand? John Standard, let's get some more. All right. John Standard. Let's get some more so you get a good picture of him without my face in the middle. He was from Newark, New Jersey, another brother. The refrigerator design was patented by this brother, John Standard. He's from Newark, New Jersey. On July the 14th, 1891, he was issued a patent by the United States. You understand? He also invented the oil stove. On 10/29/1889, he invented the oil stove. What is an oil stove? You ever been to those family cookouts? You see those cookouts and those grills? You understand? That's an oil stove, can be used for heating. An oil stove can be used to cook things if you don't have a big stove. You understand? I'll get you some pictures of those so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes they were used with kerosene. You might see them used to fry fish. If you don't have a grill or something outside, they might use it to fry fish or fry some kind of meat or anything like that. You might take it out back to fry a turkey in the deep metal tube that you put your meats or your chicken in to cook it that way. Might cook it in beer, might cook it in oil, but the oil is used to heat it as a fuel source. You understand? This brother invented these things. All people don't create these inventions. All the boys and girls and children of the world are not equal. One family of people, one race of people, one nation of people, so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, so-called West Indians, so-called Hispanics, so-called natives, so-called Afro-Americans. We are God's chosen people. This is the former of all things. We create everything that makes this society function. Matthew 5:13, this is what Christ was talking about. Ye are the salt of the earth. We give this earth its flavor, where it gets its music, its dances, its inventions, its culture, its heritage, everything that makes the world great. Our story, our records, our heritage, our Bible is what they use to make their people relevant and start their own religion, like Christianity, like Islam. Our stories in the Bible, our family records is what they use to try to make their culture have some relevancy. All people do this because we are the former of all things and the salt of the earth. That's why they want to dance like you. They want to rap like you, sing like you, get braids like you. You understand? They want to take and exploit the best parts of our culture without having to deal with us. Being the inventors that make the world function is an integral part of our culture that we are never educated about, because the church teaches us religion instead of what's actually in the Bible, which is all about race. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? And that's what our oppressors have done. They have worked to weaken us so that our flavor is diminished. That's why we got this weak cookie cutter music. There's no longer individual, no longer our sound and our flavor. We are doing what they want us to do. No longer our sisters, beautiful, wonderful princesses. They're exploiting our sisters' beauty to parade their naked behinds on the internet, to sell movies, to sell TV shows, to sell music, to degrade and destroy our culture, to sell our aborted fetus cells in Planned Parenthood for Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Now that our family has destroyed after they have hypersexualized our people, because our families have been destroyed by Martin Luther King and the government telling us to integrate. And then we get an integrated education that is no longer about us being strong for our people, but about us pretending to be them, and they degrade our people by joining us to them when we really not joined. It's only our inventions they take and keep for themselves, our music, our sports, our athletic ability, our women to run their companies, clean their streets, build their cities, and then at the end they say, well, you're illegal. We got to get you out of here. You're the problem. You're the criminal element. When in reality, we are the salt of the earth, and they cause these things to happen to us. In the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, we are fixing all of the problems in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Christ says it is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. That's why it's 2 million of us piled up in prison. You understand? That's why we piled up in dog cages in the immigration customs enforcement. You understand? Not the Chinese, not the Africans, not the Arabs, not the Afghans that America been in war at for 20 years, not the Iraqis that America's been in war at for 20 years, not the Vietnamese, the Japanese that attacked Pearl Harbor, not any other nation of people, but the salt of the earth that build this empire. They treat that way to us. Jeremiah 6:10-16, the portion of Jacob is not like them. We're not like the other nations of people. Our forefather Jacob's name was changed to Israel, just as we went over, for he is the former the Father, the creator of all things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Israel is the strength of his inheritance and the rod of the Black, Hispanic, Native American man. That seed, that sperm, reproduces God's chosen people, his sons and daughters on the earth. The Lord of hosts, the God of armies is his name. This brother right here, John Standard, produced the oil stove and the refrigerator. You can't walk into a convenience store without refrigerators. The drinks are refrigerated. Food, there's no grocery store without refrigerators. Before that, you had to have a market. Everything that could perish would fall apart. You had to get it, make it on the spot. Now you can mass sell, mass produce, mass refrigerate. Every home, every store, every business, hotels, lobbies, this completely changed the entire world. No continent you will go to where you would not see this invention. This brother, John Standard, invented the refrigerator and the oil stove. Hotels have refrigerators, everything. The former of all things. Like, share, subscribe. You understand? John Standard, the oil stove and the refrigerator. And these are some more examples of the oil stove. This is an oil stove. You may have seen these cookouts, family reunions, family events. This is an oil stove right here. This is what the brother, a modern example of what John Standard created. This is an oil stove. You understand? You can pour the oil in. You don't have money for a big stove. You can get you a small one, get you a big one. You understand? Of course, we got modern gas stoves and things like that. But this, you can take it. You can see it's used for camping, use it cookouts. They might take these big things and fry the chicken in, fry the fish in, out in the yard, out in the woods, wherever you are, if they want to cook it on the spot. This is an example of a modern oil stove. This brother invented this in the 1800s. Of course, you see it everywhere nowadays, but John Standard, this brother, a Black man, the former of all things, the tribe of Judah, he invented the refrigerator and the oil stove. Like, share, subscribe. I.S.U.P.K, no cowards. Shalom.